Well, hello guys. It's time to start class. So welcome everybody. Hello, Luis. How are you today?
Hello, Christian. I'm fine. I'm a little bit tired, but I'm fine.
Okay, I got it, boy. But
And you?
thank you for being here. Well, I could be better, but I'm good today. Thank you. Hello, Malcolm. How are you today? Hi, Malcolm. Oh, okay, Malcolm. Thank you for letting me know. Let's see. Well, Daniela is here. So hello, Daniela. How are you today?
Hi, I'm happy. I don't know, positive.
Okay, that's something good. So you're positive today. That's something good. So thank you for being here, Daniela. Let's see, Fernando. Well, Fernando is still connecting. So, well, everybody, thank you for being here. Fernando is connected. So, hello, Fernando. How are you today?
Hello, I'm okay, and you?
Well, I'm doing good today. Thank you for asking. So, thank you for being here. Welcome, guys.
Hey,
Thank you
Christian,
for yes,
sorry,
Luis.
I have a question.
Yes.
We're doing a resume for the bootcamp we are studying, and they are asking us to to write down the level of English that we have at this moment. So, can you help me with that? Help us because I think everyone is doing the resume too.
Well, in that case, well, I would recommend you because I can tell you your English level, but to be more or to have a certain level of English that or more sure about that, so you can look on the internet for some test of English that can tell you your English level. I will try to look for one and I will send it to you for you to practice or to do the exam, and then at the end you can see what is your English level. Okay.
And this course, this pre-intermediate too, will be like A2, B1, or
Oh well, now we are in pre-intermediate three. I mean,
okay.
I know. Well, so we are in pre-intermediate three, so it is supposed that we are. I'm not pretty sure, but I think we are B1. So I think we are B1 with this level, right?
Okay. Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Well, guys, thank you for coming on time. Just before we start, I want to send you something to the WhatsApp group for you to use it today in our class, because today we have, well, we have an interesting class, everybody, and we are going to use this document. So let me look for it on my computer. Oops. Let's see. Okay. Guys, yesterday I promised I will look for a list of verbs in which you can practice, well, you can practice the pronunciation of some verbs, and also you can practice the present, past, and past participle of some irregular verbs. Of course, guys, in the list I shared with you on the WhatsApp group, I don't know if you receive it. Let me know if you have it. Yes. Okay, so if you check that list, you will see that at the beginning you have a list of irregular verbs. Some of them are common, some of them are not very common, but they are irregular verbs. And after that, you will find some, let me share my screen with you. So, well, as you can see, so you have a list of irregular verbs. As I mentioned, some of them are common, some of them are not very common, but you can extend your vocabulary, so you can have more vocabulary at the moment of speaking any tense. So if you're speaking in present or in past, you can use it. Then everybody, we have, let's see. Well, after that, we have a list of regular verbs. And it is divided in 3 areas. As you know, the ED verbs or the regular verbs are divided in 3 different sounds. The first one is the ED sound, so you can find all the verbs that are pronounced as id. So accepted, counted, dated. So you have a list of verbs, then you have verbs, regular verbs with the sound of letter T, so asked, cooked, danced, dressed. So then you have the last list or the last part of the list, everybody, are some verbs that have, some regular verbs that have the sound. Okay, as for example, answered, arrived, belonged, chained. Okay, so as you see, we have different verbs in base form or in present, in simple past, in past participle, and in Spanish. In Spanish, guys, yes, it's important, but try to practice mostly present, past, and past participle because you will use it at least in this following classes. So everybody, today to start with our class, let me share again my screen and let me share my presentation. So what happened? It's over here. Very good. Okay, everybody, today our class, today to start with our class, we are going to talk about extreme sports. Tell me, guys, do you like extreme sports? Let's start with Fernando. Tell me, Fernando, do you like extreme sports?
Not really.
Not really. Okay, so what kind of sports do you prefer? Or what kind of activities?
Like video games or walk.
Okay, well, that's another good activity. So thank you for sharing, Fernando. So you are not very you're not very related to extreme sports, but at least you like to walk, which is also good. What about you, Malcolm? Oh, Malcolm cannot speak today. I'm sorry. So what about you, Daniela? Tell me, do you like extreme sports?
No, I don't like it. I hate.
Any? Oops, give me a second. So what is the most extreme thing you have done?
Jump, the air.
Okay.
I don't know what is the name. But the second and the first and second image,
Uh-huh.
jump that the airplane. I think is very 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 crazy.
Okay, yeah, it's kind of crazy. And but it's a good activity, right? It looks like an amazing activity. I can't do that activity because I am afraid of the height, but it will be nice, I guess. Hello, Jairo, welcome to our class. Tell me, Jairo, do you like extreme sports?
Hello, yes, I like string sport,
Okay, what's your favorite one?
and my favorites is or are bungee jumping, skydiving, um, and climbing. Yes,
Okay, pretty good. Do you practice those sports?
no,
No, okay, but do you want to practice them?
um, um, eh, when I was a child,
Okay,
I practice climbing.
okay, pretty good. So, so when did you finish practicing climbing?
Oh, um, 10, 10 years ago.
10 years ago. Okay, so it was a long time ago, but it's fine. that experience. And tell me, Jairo, do you want in the future? Do you want to continue climbing?
Yes, I I I will I will be climbing in the future. I don't know.
Okay, it was good. It was a good sentence. So thank you for it. Well, thank you for sharing, Jairo, that you, well, in the past you climbed. Okay, now in maybe in the future you will continue. So that's good. Well, Luis, tell me about you. Do you like any extreme sport?
I like watching it, but the idea of doing it is not not so good for me.
Okay, I got it. So it's fine. Well, tell me, which of these do you like to watch at least?
Parkour. Yes. It's
Okay,
pretty cool, the view, uh, mainly when they are carrying the camera in the head and the body. It's pretty cool.
okay, so you have watched some videos about it. It's cool. I actually I could say that it's a nice activity. It's not very common. Well, at least here in El Salvador, it's not very common, I think. But it looks like it's interesting. So, do you want to practice parkour, Luis, or never?
No, I don't think I will do it. Never. I mean,
Okay.
I will end up with a broke arm or something like that, and I don't want it.
Okay, I got it. Yes, this is well, these kind of sports, as we can see, are well, are dangerous. That's why they are extreme sports. But they are kind of good. I don't know why, guys, but there is one picture. Well, I put one picture over here, guys, but you cannot see it. I don't know why. But well, as you can see in these pictures, everybody, we have different sports that maybe we have done or we haven't, but they are crazy and they are good. They are not very common, right? As I mentioned, well, Luis mentioned parkour, and at least parkour is not very common in El Salvador. These are all of these activities are not common or are not very common in our society. However, are great experiences that you can have. Today, everybody, in our class, we will talk about experiences. And that's why everybody, I don't remember, I think yesterday you asked me about this, and it's about present perfect. Today, everybody, that's our class about present perfect. So everybody, let's pay attention to it and try to practice. To start with this, let's pay attention to Daniela, okay? Daniela, help me reading the structure and the example.
Okay, it's the present perfect. Subject plus have or has plus verb in past participle plus complement. The example is I have a student. I have a student. I have a student English. And I don't know what is the EIH.
Oh,
Okay.
that's a mistake I made. Okay, so don't take it into account. I don't know why I wrote those letters, but I will eliminate them. Well, right now. Well, as you can see, everybody, in this tense, in present perfect, everybody, we have to use or we use everybody two important things. Okay, the first one is the auxiliary. What is the auxiliary, Luis?
Sorry. The auxiliary
Yes.
in this sentence.
Yes.
Have.
Very good. Is have. And then everybody, as you see, we have to use a verb in past participle. So as you remember, everybody, give me a second. As you remember, everybody, when we are talking about the list of verbs, so we have three columns. The first one is the verb in base form or in present. The second column is, are the verbs in past. And the third column are the verbs in past participle. So in this opportunity, everybody, we are going to study the verbs in past participle. We use have or has, and then we use the verb in past participle. Daniela, do you have a question?
Yes, what is the pronunciation, the study in past participle?
Okay, let's check the list. Well, in the list, guys, you
Yes.
can see.
I see this, but I don't understand when when I and E is together and next is D and I don't know.
Okay, you have to focus on the final sound of some of the verbs, I mean, in present. For example, yesterday I mentioned that all the verbs that finish in letter Y, give me a second, I will change the color. All the verbs that finish in letter Y, they are pronounced in past, they are in past participle, they are pronounced as a letter D. In this case, play in past is played. We have study, so the pronunciation is studied, right? Okay, Daniela?
Okay, yes, because I have a confusion because I think we don't say either because the E in the middle is like a ed, no id. In others examples, it's
Okay,
similar.
yes, that's right. It's similar, but as you know, everybody, in according to the list, we have to follow the rules, right? So depending on the final sound of the verb in base form or in present, that will be the pronunciation in past. That's why on the list that I shared with you, you see that between the slashes, there are one or two letters. For example, in this case of play or study, we have only one letter, which is letter D. Then if we have a verb that finish with letter T, give me a second, guys. That finish with letter T or letter D, okay? So then we pronounce id, okay? That's the main thing, okay? I will try that at the end of the class, we have some time to practice or to check the list, and we can practice some pronunciation. But as you see this verb, studied. So we omit the letter E, and we only pronounce the letter D, okay? Now, well, this is the structure, everybody, for present perfect examples in affirmative form. Please pay attention to the negative structure. Okay, let's pay attention to it. Okay, pay attention right now and listen to Fernando. Fernando, tell me, what is the structure and the example in negative form? Hello, Fernando. Okay, let's see. Luis, help me reading the structure and also the example.
Okay, I'm present perfect, subject plus have or has, not, verb in past participle, and complement. I have not gone hiking.
Thank you. As you see, everybody, this is the negative structure. Well, something that it's the same, we have to use have and has, and we use the verb in past participle. The only thing that we add in negative examples is the negative adverb or the negative word not. So have not or has not. And then we continue with the same structure, the subject and the complement. Now, everybody, we will check something important. And it's that we, even though it's a negative example, we still have to use, first of all, the auxiliary. As you know, in all tenses have their own auxiliary. If we are talking about simple present, what is the auxiliary that we use, everybody? Jairo, what is the auxiliary that we use for simple present?
¿Cómo dijo?
What is the auxiliary for simple present?
Simple present.
With letter D.
There is I am is I am. This is are or is.
Oh, remember the auxiliary. Thank you, Daniela.
No.
Is do
No
and does. Oh, remember, do and does. So anytime we are talking about simple present, we use do and does. And if we are talking about activities, of course, so we use do and does. For example, where do you live? Where do you live? As you see, we use do and does. So that is the auxiliary in simple past. Now, what is the auxiliary? Sorry, in simple present. What is the auxiliary in simple past, Luis?
Did?
Very good. We use the auxiliary did. Now, everybody, as you can see in present perfect, we also have an auxiliary. And this is have and has. Remember, guys, have and has are verbs in present or are forms of a verb in present. But in this case, guys, they are not verbs. So right now, don't translate it or don't think that have and has are talking about belongings, are talking about things that you that you belong, okay? So about your things or about your objects. Don't think about that, guys. Today, have and has have a different meaning, okay? Because they are used as auxiliaries. And then the verbs in past participle, guys, same as I mentioned yesterday, we have to practice and remember the verbs, right? Because they are, of course, they are important. And also, that's the correct grammar. As you see, we are not using go. I have go. No, that's not correct. In this case, we use the verb in past participle and we say gone. I have not gone hiking. Well, guys, this is about the structures. Right now, let me show you the conjugation and the contraction that we use in present perfect. As you see, we have the correct conjugation and the correct contraction of each subject and the auxiliary have or has. Please, okay, Fernando, let's see. Okay, thank you, Fernando, for letting me know. Can you participate right now, Fernando? Yes?
Yes.
Very good. Okay, help me right now with this, with the subjects and the auxiliary of, in affirmative form.
Only subject.
The subject and the auxiliary. So I have, you have, he has.
And the contraction too.
The
no?
contraction, we will practice them in a moment. Okay, right now, only
Okay.
subject and auxiliary.
I have, you have, he has, she has, it has, we have, they have.
Very good. Guys, remember that have and has in this context are not verbs, but we apply the rules of third person in the same way that we do it in simple present. So he, she, and it has, okay? We never use have for he, she, and it. We only use has. Then everybody, as you can see, we have the contractions. Why didn't I ask Fernando to practice also the contraction? Because it's not very common that we practice them. But in this opportunity, guys, remember the right pronunciation of this. So we say I've, you've, she's, his, it's, we've, and they've. Okay, at the end of the, well, at the end, everybody, the pronunciation is with a letter V. Okay, like with a letter V at the end. For example, we say I've. Okay, we say I've. We say you've. You've. Okay, as you see, we use a letter V at the end. That's the only sound that we will have. In the case of he, she, and it, they are not very difficult because it's only the letter. We only add the letter S at the end. She's, his, its. Okay? Then for I, you, we, and they, we have to pronounce a letter V at the end. So instead of saying, I have learned English, we can say, I've learned English. I've learned English. Okay? Then we have the negative form. Please, right now, pay attention to Daniela. Daniela, help me with also the subject and the negative form, the auxiliary.
Okay. I have not, you have not, he has not, she has not, it has not, we have not, and they have not.
Well, thank you for your practice. As you see, everybody, in this opportunity, this is, well, in negative form, it's kind of easier because we only have to pronounce have not together. I haven't, you haven't, he hasn't, she hasn't, it hasn't, we haven't, and they haven't. Okay? As you see, in this case, we use the subject in the same way. So we keep the subjects in their complete form. So we don't use the subjects together with have not. Okay? Have not are the only two words that will be together. Haven't or hasn't. Okay? Now that we've practiced this, everybody, let's check the following part. Okay, remember that after, before we continue, guys, remember that after the subject and the auxiliary, we will use a verb in past participle. So you can start practicing, guys, to create great sentences in the following activities. Right now, let's move on to our next part. Guys, present perfect have many uses, but the three more common uses, guys, are these three. Can you help me, Jairo, reading the three uses? 1, 2, and 3. Hello, Jairo.
Hello.
Hello. Can you read 1, 2, and 3, please?
Number 1.
1, 2, and 3.
Okay. Number 1. Experiences in the past we do specific time. Number 2. Repeated actions in the past using frequency. Quantity words. Number 3. Action that started in the past and continuing in the present.
Very good. Thank you, Jairo, for your reading. As you see, present perfect, guys, have, well, I mentioned, guys, that present perfect has many uses, but these are the three more common uses for present perfect. Number 1, everybody, experiences in the past without specific time. Let's pay attention to this, everybody, because we are going to stop little by little, okay? Use by use. Number one, remember, experiences in the past without specific time. Please, Daniela, help me with the two examples.
I have been to Guatemala, and he has jumped out of a plane.
Jumped. What is the correct pronunciation? Remember, letter D, T, or id?
We jumped.
Uh,
No.
Let's with
Wait.
letter T, okay? Letter T. Okay, jumped.
Jumped.
So
Okay.
repeat again the sentence.
And he has jumped out of a plane.
Nice job. Okay, so I'm sorry because I always make you repeat this kind of examples, but okay, remember the pronunciation of irregular verbs. Well, as you see, everybody, we are talking about experiences that people or a person have in past, of course, and we don't use a specific time. Guys, as you can see in these examples, I have been to Guatemala. It's one example. It's something that happened in the past, okay? What is important here, everybody, is that we don't use a specific time. I can say, for example, I went to, I will, give me a second, guys. I will do it bigger. Okay, I went to Guatemala 1 year ago. Oops, 1 year ago. So the example, everybody, shows or describes the same activity. I have been to Guatemala, so that means, everybody, this is something important. Please try to remember this. It's that when we use, when we are talking about going to one place in present perfect, we have to check when to use gone and when to use been. If I use gone, everybody, that means that I am still, okay, that I am still in the place. So if I say I have gone to Guatemala, that means, everybody, that I went to Guatemala and I continue in Guatemala. And that is not true. I am right now, I am in El Salvador, right? So then if I say I've been in Guatemala, sorry, I have been to Guatemala, that means that I went, and I came back. Okay, so I went to Guatemala and I came back from Guatemala. Now, as you have, remember this information, guys, I will put it over here. So as you can see, if I say I have been to Guatemala and I went to Guatemala, it describes, or the sentences describe the same activity, the same action. What is the difference? Fernando, what is the difference between the two sentences? I have been to Guatemala and I went to Guatemala 1 year ago. What is the difference, Fer?
The tense.
Okay, of course, the tense. Okay, and what is another difference that you can see? Luis, what do you think is another difference?
That the using of the have auxiliary.
Okay, the use of have. Okay, so of course, in present perfect, I have to use have. And in past, I don't use, because it's affirmative, I don't use any tense, any auxiliary, I'm sorry. I have only, I only use a went, which is the verb. So guys,
The in the present perfect you don't mention a specific time.
very good. And that's the main difference, guys. That's the main difference between present perfect and simple past. In simple past, guys, I can say the specific time, but in present perfect it's not possible, or it's not common that we use the time expression. Okay, in that case, so we only mention the experiences that we had. For example, well, Jairo said that he climbed when he was a kid. He climbed. It was in past. He, subject, climbed the verb. Okay? So in those cases, everybody, we can specify when did you do it. But in present perfect, guys, it's not very common that we specify. We only mention what was our experience or what was the activity that we have done in a moment of our life or in a period of our life. Yes, Daniela, tell me, what is your question?
Yes, it's similar that I say in Spanish. Una vez fui.
Aha, that could be, I could say that is a simple past. Yo fui. But if
Yes.
we are talking about present perfect, we could say in Spanish, yo he ido. So that is like the main difference or the real meaning of a simple past and past participle. So you can say, I have done it, or I have gone to some places, or I have been to some places. Now, as you can see in the second example, it's the same idea. So he has jumped out of a plane. We don't know the specific time. And the specific time is not important in present perfect. On the other hand, guys, in simple past, of course, it's important. But right now, we are not speaking about simple past. So we try to focus on present perfect. But that's one difference that we can see in both. In present perfect, the specific time or the time expression is not very important. The thing that is the thing that is important in these kind of sentences are the experiences that you had or that you have had. Well, let's move on, everybody, to the second use. Okay, the second use, as you can see, it's about repeated actions in the past. In this kind of tense, everybody, we use frequency words or quantity words. Pay attention to the two examples. Please, Luis, help me reading the two sentences.
Okay, she has baked a cake once, and we have watched Shrek many times.
Amazing, okay? So real life examples. As you see, everybody, in the first example, we are using once. So if you remember, guys, once, when we use once, we are talking about one time, one opportunity we did or we have done something. And in the second example, guys, we are using many times. Actually, both are talking about time, but not about the specific time. However, they are talking about the opportunities you have done an activity. For example, we have watched Shrek many times. I have a question for you. How many times did you watch Shrek in the past? Daniela, how many times did you watch Shrek in the past? Do you have a specific number?
Number. Yeah. Yes. I watched the Shrek twice in the
Really?
past.
Only twice?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, but it's okay. So you can mention it like that. In simple past, I watched twice. Not really, but we can use it for present perfect. So I have watched Shrek twice. Well, that's Daniela's example. So she has watched Shrek twice, okay? As you see, we are talking about the frequency, but not about the specific time, okay? So specific time, guys, in present perfect is not very important. In this case, it's more important the experience that you have and the actions that you repeated once and again in the past, okay? In the past. So as you see, she has baked a cake once. So she has baked a cake only one time. Well, this is the main thing about this, everybody. So that's the main point of the second use of present perfect, to talk about an action that you repeated once and again in the past. Now, please pay attention to Jairo. Jairo, please read right now the frequency and quantity words.
The frequency words are always, or never, once,
Once, remember, once.
once, twice, twice,
Uh-huh.
and times.
Very good. And quantity?
Quantity or many times, several times, few times.
Very good. So these are some common words that we use in present perfect. In the case of always and never, remember that we use it after the after the subject. Or, well, in this case, we use it after the auxiliary. I have always, or I have never. Well, we will see that in a moment, guys, in our practice. Now let's check the third use. Well, the third use of present perfect, everybody, is actions that started in the past and continue in the present. Okay, so in this case, everybody, let me go back to the timeline. We didn't focus a lot on the timeline today, everybody, because we were about to practice the uses in a moment. But as you can see, we have the three uses in the timeline. The first one, an action in the past, no time indicated. So we don't use a specific time. What is the only information that we know? That it happened in the past. The specific time is not important. The second use, everybody, the repeated actions in the past, often with quantity words. So you repeat the action in the past, and that the only thing that is important is the repetition of this activity, but not the specific time. The last one, everybody, it's the duration of an action from past to now. So we are talking about actions that started in the past and they still continue in present. Okay, let's pay attention to our examples. Please, right now, Luis, help me reading that two sentences.
Okay, I have worked as a teacher since 2020. And they've been married for 25 years.
Thank you. Real life examples, guys. I have worked as a teacher since 2020. In the present, I still continue working as a teacher. So that's why everybody we use present perfect in this, or we have this use of present perfect to talk about something that started in the past and in the present, I still continue with the activity. Okay? Then we have the second example. As you can see, this couple, they've been married for 25 years and they are still together. So they haven't gotten divorced, so they are still together. They have been married for 25 years. They got married in the past, and in present they continue married. So they are not separated. So anything happened in their relationship, so they continue together. As you see, we use this. We use present perfect, guys, to talk about those kind of activities. Activities that you want to focus that they started in the past and they continue nowadays. But pay attention to these two important words. As you see, to talk about a time or to use a time expression, we use since and we use for. Okay? Pay attention right now when to use it or how to use for and since. Please, Fernando, read these words. Go ahead.
For last a period of time, since plus a date, time, or event.
Okay, thank you. So as you see, we use for to talk about a period of time. So to show that in a period of time, I started doing something and I continue with that, okay? Or something continue with that action. Then everybody, as you see, we are using since in this example. So we are talking about when an action started in the past and it is still continue, okay? So as we can see, we can use since with a date. So for example, I can say, I can say since Christmas, since January. So we can focus on a date or a day, for example, a day, a time. For example, in this case, we have 2020 or 2020, and also an event. So since the class started or since the pandemic finished. Actually, it haven't finished, but nowadays it's I don't know, it's not too dangerous as it was. So as you see, everybody, we are talking about something, okay? We're talking about the time when something started and nowadays still continue. Then everybody, in the second example, we use for, and as I mentioned, we try to focus on the period of time that an action happened or the period of time where an action start and nowadays continue. Remember, anytime we use for and since, we are talking about the past, but this action that started in the past continue in present. Okay, very good. Right now, everybody, we will continue with our next part just before we go because it's almost time. We have around 9 minutes, but we are going to practice. Okay, in this moment, everybody, let's make a short practice about present perfect. So give me a second. Remember that today, everybody, we practice present perfect in affirmative and negative form. Tomorrow, we will continue practicing questions. Please, guys, come to the class and practice affirmative, negative sentences and questions. Okay, right now, you will see some sentences on the screen. You have to tell me what is the correct sentence. Okay, so to start, let's pay attention to Daniela. Okay, Daniela, tell me, what is the correct sentence?
Okay, with me. Choose the correct sentences. I have never been there. She has sent friends for they be together for I think it's letter B or letter C, but okay, letter B, no. It's C.
Okay,
No.
just give me a
Yes. Yes, I think it's C. Yes.
okay, just give me a second. I have to check something because I have, oh, give me a second. I have to restart the game because there was a mistake. Okay, let me see. I'm sorry, Daniela, you will have to answer again because it has a countdown, so you have to answer in 30 seconds or less. But now you can tell me, it's the same question. So tell me, what do you think is the correct answer?
Is they have been together for 10 months.
Okay, very good. The sentence is correct. Let's see. Yes, of course, it's correct. So we use have and been in the correct form. Thank you. Daniela, pick the next person. You have Luis, Fernando, and Jairo.
Luis.
Luis. Okay, Luis, tell me, choose the correct sentence, please.
Okay. She has never seen my mother.
Thank you. Let's see. Of course, that's correct. That's for you, Luis. Thank you. Luis, tell me, who's the next one, Fernando or Jairo?
Fernando.
Fernando. Okay, Fernando, tell me, sentence number 3. Choose the correct sentence.
I haven't written the letter.
Okay, nice job. I haven't written the letter. Thank you. That's correct. Okay, thank you, thank you. Now, Jairo, it's your opportunity. So tell me, please. Okay, choose the correct sentence number 4. Okay, but first, let me see what happened. Okay, give me a second. Okay, Jairo, choose one card. One, 2, 3, 4, or 5.
Number 3.
Oh, repeat again.
Number 3.
Number 3. Okay, let's check. Okay, it will be faster. I don't know how, but it will be faster. Okay, Jairo, tell me question number 4. Okay. Which sentence is correct?
He he has finished his project.
A, B, or C?
A.
A, he has finished his project. Well done, okay? That sentence is correct. So thank you, Jairo. Let's continue. Daniela, you are our next volunteer now. Tell me, please, what is the correct sentence number 5?
Mm. Letter C, she has forgotten to do her homework. It's
Okay,
stranger, this.
she has forgotten to do her homework.
Forgotten.
Yeah, it looks like it's kind of weird, but it's correct. Okay, so that's for you. Thank you. Luis, help me with number 6. Okay, Luis,
Letter B.
the sentence, please.
Sorry, I can hear you.
Oh, can you read the sentence?
Okay, Nick has hitting.
Nice, yeah. Okay, thank you. Okay, Fernando, let's continue with you. Tell me sentence number 7. Bonus round. Okay, Fernando, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5?
Number 4.
4, let's see. Hi, Fernando. Okay, minus 100 points. Okay, so you have to win more points in this opportunity, Fernando. Let's see. Questions. What's the correct sentence?
I guess it's letter C.
Letter C. What is the sentence letter C?
Susan forgot her phone.
Okay. Let's Fernando, that's not correct. Okay. So remember,
No, my
forgot
brain.
past participle we use in simple past. Thank you. Don't worry. Let's see. Jairo, tell me what is the correct sentence number? What is the correct sentence number 8?
A, they haven't knew about this.
Okay. Thank you. But no, okay. New, it's in simple past. It's in past. The past participle. No. But, well, Daniela, you will be our last volunteer. Tell me what is the last sentence? A, B, or C?
Okay. The letter B. Michael hasn't done this.
Let's check. Very good. This is correct. So everybody, we finished 500 points. But guys, you did an amazing job. Please continue working and practicing, guys. Present perfect. Remember the two important details or the two important things in the structure of present perfect: have or has, and the verb in past participle. Tomorrow, guys, we will continue practicing some activities about present perfect. So try to come on time. And guys, nice to see you today. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye. Good night. Thank you.
So
Bye. See you.